Welcome to the Bare Naked ABCs, where we just try to interrupt the random comments and conversations that are going on so that we can actually talk about Bare Naked Lady songs, or as we are doing right now with Turn the Page, discussing all the Stephen Page independent project songs. And we are finally finishing up with the Art of Time Ensemble's A Singer Must Die album, while we discuss this week's song, Paranoid Android. And we have a special guest this week. It is not Marvin. We have instead the almost up the opposite of Marvin. We have Jeff.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, good to have you here, Jeff.
Good to be here.
Podcast.
And we also have Betsy and Aaron.
Hello, Governor.
I'm not a governor. I eat at Governors.
You're my
I was going to say it's Tuesday, in it, but it's actually Wednesday.
Well, no, it's Tuesday when this gets released, so you're right.
It's Tuesday, in it? Tuesday. Check out me YouTube.
If you have never heard of Paranoid Android before, it is a Radiohead song from 1997. Am I correct, Aaron?
96 or 7, yeah.
I set you up for that one.
It's got to be 7.
You know, absolutely.
Yeah, it is 1997.
I got a music fact right.
Good job.
It's completely useless fact, but I got it. And if you have never heard this song before, Aaron, I want to give a quick snippet, but what snippet of this song do I?
Oh yeah, look, this would be like trying to play a snippet of Bohemian Rhapsody, or like Happiness Is a Warm Gun, or like A Day in the Life. It's one of those songs that's just a compilation of several different kind of very different feels, and we'll get into the tonality of it. My favorite part is the bridge, the choral slow section. Like, that is what made me fall in love with this song. So if you wanted to play something, I would recommend that.
Okay, that's what people just listen to. And we are, of course, not discussing that song. We'll be discussing it somewhat, but the major reason we're talking about it is that Stephen and the Art of Time Ensemble actually covered this song, the last song on this album. And if you have not heard their version of it, here is a quick snippet of that song. I'm going to have a hard time with that because the bridge is at a different place. They reorganized this song a little bit when they arranged it. And so it's actually longer than Radiohead's version.
Yeah.
But they don't have slower. The whole outro.
Yeah. They end it after the bridge or the choral section, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, so it's only a 3-part.
Yeah. It's still epic.
Still epic.
It's actually longer than Radiohead's version just because they're playing it slower and they do some improvisation and stuff.
Yeah. Would you like to talk? You are the Radiohead fanboy. Would you like to talk a little bit about Radiohead?
Oh my God, where do I start? I mean,
let's start at the very beginning.
Well, I think so. You've probably heard this referred to as my favorite song. I think my favorite song of all time probably might vary on like what day you ask me, but this is my favorite song on my favorite album by my favorite band, and that will never change. So like, regardless of, oh, I like this song, I like that song, what do I want to hear most in the world right now? OK Computer is my favorite album. Radiohead is my favorite band, and on OK Computer, this is my favorite song. And I'm gonna guess. Can I poll everyone here? Did everyone hear? Was the first Radiohead song you ever heard "Creep"?
Probably, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Mine was okay. Mine was Paranoid Android. I mean, I might have heard "Creep" a few years back, but like, you got to remember, when I was really young, I was mostly into jazz and classical music.
Mm-hmm.
I got to say this to Al. Speaking of Weird Al, when I met him, I got into Nirvana through Weird Al. so I only
normal at all. Yeah. That's what happened to me.
I came to Nirvana a little late, and I came because I liked the parody. But like, so I was getting into alternative rock. Like, I think "Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness" by Smashing Pumpkins was a huge album for me. But I don't know. Like, if I heard "Creep," I'm sure I liked it, but like, it wasn't a revelation. Like, this song, when I heard this song, it activated something in me. I don't even know how else to describe it. I guess it's like, it's so the whole album. It's a concept album, OK Computer, and it's all about like alienation. I think it's more relevant than ever because we live in this late stage capitalist dystopian hellscape. But it's very, very much like, like, I don't know. It evokes a lot of feelings, but alienation is definitely one of them. And I guess, so this was 1997. I was like a freshman in high school, feeling pretty alienated. And it was just, I think I was perfectly primed. It's so experimental. It's so out there. We'll be talking a little bit, Tracy, because I gave you homework. So I want to know if you listened to the Bends and OK Computer and what you thought. But I think it's no overstatement to say this song specifically, but Radiohead in general really changed my life. I mean, I always loved music. I was always active and involved with music. But I just, those cliches you hear, like, oh, if you could just reach one person or blah, 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 blah. I legitimately felt that. It was like hearing the alienation, hearing the kind of the, just feeling what that song made me feel. It made me feel like, oh, there's other people out there who feel like I do. And that's a good feeling to be like, I'm not alone or whatever. So it really connected with me. It's a beautiful song also.
Mm-hmm.
I know, like, for some people, maybe, there's some dissonance, and it's kind of like, it's kind of abrasive in some sections, and it swings, wildly between tones. It's not traditionally, certainly not diatonic to a single key. So it's not everyone's cup of tea, but goddamn, do I love this song, and especially the choral section, as we'll discuss. So yeah, I mean, Radiohead, my favorite band. They followed OK Computer up with some amazing albums as well. Kid A, Amnesiac, In Rainbows. I left out Hail to the Thief, but yeah, like that whole run between the Bends and Hail to the Thief in particular. I mean, all their stuff is good, but damn, that's fantastic. So yeah, had a huge impact on me. Really kind of opened my eyes to like what you could do with. I mean, people had blended rock and electronics and stuff like that before. But this felt different, and it felt like they were using things differently. They were doing things differently. So yeah, I don't want to I could just wax poetic all night about how much I love Radiohead, but yeah, a huge influence. Love them to death, and this song in particular.
And so, like, I come from a couple of years ahead of most of the people that are here. And so Creep came out right when I was a junior in high school, and you talked about the alienation and feeling, separated and isolated, and that Creep really expressed for me exactly what I felt through most of my high school. I was the kid that no one wanted to date. I was the boy that girls had no interest in. Didn't matter if I found them interesting. They had no interest in me. And most of the time it was like, why? You're my brother. And so, this feeling that is expressed in Creep very much kind of expressed my whole high school experience. So like it really resonated with me. And
it's a great song. And they famously refused to play it for like a long time, but I was going to say
I feel bad their management did what they did, very much like BNL's management did with what they did with 1 Week, where they're like, all right, make us another one of those, and they're like, that's the whole point, is not to make the same song again.
we got my Iron Lung out of that, so I'm okay with it.
Right.
Which is my favorite song on the Bends. So wait, Tracy, let me ask you, like, what did you think of OK Computer in general, and what did you think of the Bends?
I knew that was coming.
My guess is that you liked the Bends more than you liked OK Computer.
I like the Bends a lot more than OK Computer. Yes. And I think
it's okay. It's just a masterpiece that stands alone amongst albums. No biggie.
I think you probably even know why I prefer
Beeps and Boops.
It's a little bit about the beeps and boops. It's not as pleasant to listen to. It's more poppy, not quite poppy, but it's more mainstream. The Bends is more mainstream alt rock.
Yeah. What I like about the Bends is you can follow their trajectory. Like if you listen to Pablo Honey, and then you hear the Bends, and then you hear OK Computer. Like it's still a huge pole vault, right, from the Bends to OK Computer as far as like experimentation and abstract and weirdness. But like you can kind of hear they get a little weird with the Bends. There's stuff like My Iron Lung.
Yes.
There's darker stuff like Street Spirit, which is maybe my second favorite song on the Bends. What are your favorite songs on each album?
So my biggest
Fitter
problem.
Happier. You love Fitter Happier. Fitter Happier is the only song I actually skip on OK Computer. But if I'm listening to it all the way through, I'll let it play.
I guess it's technically a song. Not really.
How's the level?
I mean, the biggest problem I have, and it's probably something you loved about it, but it's what I didn't like. Yeah. I like it when Thom Yorke goes into his lower register for him.
I like his falsetto because of how weird and
I like it is. But my problem is with the falsetto, and this is why I kind of like Creep, is because it's so sparse. The music is so sparse, and it really it hits you when it comes in, but it's not really there, so it really gets you to feel what it's trying to in those moments. But because his falsetto is so high, it blends in with a lot of the other instruments. And my biggest problem with, especially OK Computer for me, is the mix. In that he is mixed so low in that I can't understand what he's saying. I can't hear his words half the time. Because it's blending in with the instruments. And I like it when it's mixed a little bit higher, not a little higher volume wise, so I can hear the vocals, and I find that they don't do that a lot. They did it less. They had more vocal volume on the second album on the Bends, and it was more forward, so I could understand more of it, and hear more of it. And the ones I didn't enjoy were when they were like, okay, now we're gonna we're gonna pull back and we're gonna go back to blending it in more. And I didn't quite enjoy that one as much.
So okay. I mean, I don't know. I think to a certain extent, there's some programmatic elements with the muddiness and confusion around the lyrics, and I think the music on OK Computer is probably more meant to be like emotive and like it's more evoking a feel.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like a difference in preference there. I'm gonna try and guess your favorite song on each album.
Okay,
I'm gonna say High and Dry.
Don't leave me high. Don't leave me dry. Don't leave me high. Don't leave me dry.
And
trying to remember High
I'm
and
gonna
Dry.
say-
I do
okay,
remember
well, I guess I'm
liking
wrong.
High and Dry.
I
like the
Was my
Bends.
guess for the Bends. The Bends is a really good song. Yeah.
I need to wash myself again to hide all the debt and pain, 'cause I'd be scared that there's nothing underneath.
OK Computer. No surprises.
Bake with no alarms and no surprises. No alarms and no surprises. No alarms and no surprises, please.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite on the Bends?
I was listening to them when I was walking, so it was kind of like this feel I was getting, but I want to say either the Bends or High and Dry were my favorite.
They're
on
both
that.
really good songs. Yeah. I had you pick for High and Dry, or I think the other one I would have guessed would be like Nice Dream.
Nice dream, that you're strong enough. Nice dream, if you think you belong enough. Nice dream, that you're strong enough. Nice dream, if you think you
I don't remember Nice Dream, but I remember it hitting me. I just don't remember how it hit me when I was walking.
Hit you gently. Well, so
Like I heard a deer.
But I have talked
me.
enough because we have a guest, and I want to talk with Jeff about his feelings about not just Paranoid Android, but Radiohead in general and all of it.
Well, Jeff screwed up.
Now we get that song.
He listened to A Singer Must Die.
We have a little bit of I saw the last song you posted on the thing, so I didn't realize this was the song tonight.
Take a quick listen. Get back to it.
I did just listen to
Nice.
Paranoid Android, and
yeah, it's pretty great.
Is that a sitar? Is there a sitar in there?
In the original, you mean?
In the original, yeah. I don't even know how to get to the Page's version.
I
first
think
of
it's just
all,
a
so I'm
highly
already
processed
here.
guitar, but it does. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
I mean, it wouldn't shock me because
It
like
sounds-
Johnny
I heard, like,
Greenwood
it's
has
great.
an extensive collection of
Opposites of
bizarre
noise.
instruments, and not that I mean, sitar is not that bizarre, but he's got like
Right.
a martinet where with it's like you hear that in I will be referring to this song later, National Anthem, where it's got the sliding. It's almost like a theremin combined with a keyboard. But yeah, what did you think? Okay, so was this your first time hearing Paranoid Android? Oh my
This
god!
was actually my first time
It's
hearing.
Okay.
Just listening right now. Just listening right now. Like I must be really behind on my Radiohead, and I apologize.
What did you
for that.
think?
because I know like High and Dry, I know Free.
Version.
Because the last song I saw posted was this I Shatter.
Oh
from
yeah, I saw that
the
posted too,
Magnetic
but I
Field,
thought that was
and
just
that's
yeah.
what I listened to.
Ah. Well,
Which is why I
why don't we have Jeff listen to the Art of Noise version, and then we can have Betsy talk about her Radiohead experience while he does that.
Yes.
yeah. So if I can take a minute
yeah.
to really process, I want to give it
Yes.
a 2. So can you? So you sent the Stephen Page version?
Betsy, so
Yeah.
what is your exposure to and your experience with Radiohead's version first?
I didn't really hear much about it until I met Aaron. he turned me on to it. So you
Fancy
know, well, that's whatever 5 years. So before that, you know, I kind of like everyone heard
Yeah.
Creep back in the day, but for whatever reason, I didn't pursue them, and then which makes me sad because I was missing out. But where would you like to go with this? Do you want me to compare and contrast between Steven's version and the original, or?
Well, I think we'll get to what was your first experience with Paranoid with Radiohead's version of Paranoid Android?
Well, Aaron told me how much he thought about it and how important it was to him. So I listened to it, and I felt a lot of the same things going through high school. So you know, I was kind of at the weird kids table, and never really fit in one group or another. So I really connected with it. So it's near and dear to my heart.
Now, Aaron, did you know the alternative ending lyrics
Not
to this
offhand.
song?
I know that originally this song was almost twice as long. It was like into the, I want to say 13, 14 minute range. And like when they would perform this in the early days, it would go even longer. Like they would just kind of like improvise, and they brought out like a glockenspiel, and they would just get totally ridiculous with it. Which I wish I could have seen that. They did perform Paranoid Android when I saw him in 2001, which was the best concert I've ever been to. Still, that was such an amazing evening. But
when they were recording this, one of the things they loved to say is that they were
Right.
basically taking the piss out of themselves constantly, trying to make themselves laugh. And the 12-minute version was making them laugh so incredibly hard that they just decided to whittle it down.
I could see. The thing is, like, as much as like I don't think the song is too funny, there are some like sarcasm in the lyrics and stuff. I could see if you continue to extend it and continue to go on, and you can kind of broaden other stuff, it being kind of like one of those things where it's like, okay, now it's coming around as being funny, like then it comes around to being alienating and weird again, then it gets funny again. So like, I if anyone has, I guess I can't, officially. I would never ask someone to send us a bootleg recording, but if someone had an old recording of the long version, I would love to hear that someday. But yeah, so let's talk about these alternative lyrics.
Well, you probably heard it because it had the major thing was like this big middle section where they had a glockenspiel solo, which was what really sent them into hysterics. But the final words of the song, the first year when they were first playing this in concert, they would finish it with "God loves his children. That's why he kills them."
Oh wow!
Oh, I like that.
I wish they kept that.
That was the original lyrics until they changed them for the recording, and then they sang it in concert for about a year, and then they decided to go back to the original. Well, original recorded lyrics.
No, I like that.
Yeah.
It's definitely edgier.
So they definitely they're one of those bands that is not at all afraid to get political. You know, they've written some songs that are about specific events. Hail to the Thief was
Right.
almost entirely like an FU to George W. Bush. I'm be very curious to know what the band thinks about. I won't even. He who shall not be named. Yeah.
Chester Cheetah.
So yeah, exactly.
I do want to share with you, Aaron. I don't know if you knew about this. This happened to occur when I was splitting the tracks this week, just to kind of listen to each of the different pieces of. I'm going to share screen here real quick with you, Aaron, because there's a piece that I think you would find quite interesting. All right, Aaron, can you see what is on the screen?
Yes, I can. Ooh, do you have stems?
Yes. I was able to use AI to split the stems apart. And as you can see here, I have split apart the vocals. And there's a really interesting thing that happens when he says, "What then?" And let me know if you can't hear it. I think I set it up so you'll be able to.
What
He said, "What's that?"
What's that?
I can't hear.
I mean, I know they're supposed to be.
Is it not happening? Hold on.
It's not them.
Can't hear.
Okay, hold on. I might have done the share screen wrong.
We have a special guest on the show. It's Farty McFly.
Farty McFly. He's a real farty guy.
Here we go. I fixed it. All right. So I'm going to bump this up as loud as I can, but hopefully it's not going to be too loud. I can't see you on my screen as I'm doing this. So hopefully I'm not blowing your ears out. But listen in the background behind Tom York.
What's there? What's there?
Did you catch that?
Yeah, that's what's supposed to be there, right? In the parentheses.
Are you talking about the computer voice?
Yeah.
Yeah, that I mean, I always heard that in the actual.
Okay, see, I couldn't hear it until I split that. I was like,
gotcha.
Oh my gosh, what the heck is going on?
That's actually.
It's on the lookout all over again when I heard him counting to whatever. Anyway.
So yeah, I know how you feel because I'm always like, wait, I didn't hear that, especially higher pitch stuff. But yeah, no, I always heard that maybe because it is lower pitch. But that is actually the same text-to-voice module used by Stephen Hawking.
It sounds like my speaking spell.
Yeah,
I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask.
Standard.
Yes.
I think there was a Microsoft text-to-speech module from way back in the day.
But also, it sounds like some of the words might be a little backwards, like just a few.
It sounds it, but when you
He says, "I may be paranoid, but not an android."
Yeah.
Right.
Which is interesting. And people online kept talking about Marvin from Hitchhiker's Guide.
Marvin the paranoid android.
Which I think is hilarious because Marvin's not really paranoid.
No.
He's depressed.
He's depressed. He's like severely depressed and suicidal. So which also is I would say for the majority of the song is also how the android is feeling in this song, is severely depressed. Except for the end.
So I did read way back in the day that he wrote this after spending an evening in a bar, I think in LA, which is why all the yuppies networking and Gucci Little Piggy and stuff like that. And it's not just about that, but I think that was just kind of like the catalyst for it. But it did remind me of one of my other favorite bands, Pink Floyd, where Roger Waters, if I remember correctly, I believe he wrote The Wall because he spat on a fan like during a show in the Animals tour, I want to say. So he was like, what am I becoming? What am I turning into? So he started to write The Wall. So I think it's kind of like that, except for this was more extroverted or extrospective. It would be more like, what is the world becoming? You know what I mean? So he was, Tom was kind of appalled by the behavior of some of these people and kind of it's kind of like, yeah. So I don't know. I guess again that connects to the alienation and like the does this not seem strange to anyone else? Am I the only one here who thinks it's weird that we're living in this dystopian hellscape, right? So it's nice to have some
Validation.
validation is exactly the word I was looking for. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Got my back.
Get your back, Jack.
So yeah, Jeff, have you listened to both versions?
I still haven't seen the link for the
I
Steam page
reposted
version.
it. Oh, it's in
Did
this
you?
chat. It's
In
in
the
the
chat?
Gigaverse chat.
Oh, not Messenger.
the-
Sorry.
Oh, I don't know how to do that. I will say I just listened to the Radiohead version, and that's incredible. That last
Yeah.
part, the last
Yeah.
section, the vocal section, has to be one of the
Thank
best
you.
things I've
You can
ever
see
heard.
why I've totally fell in love with this song. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
yes.
supposedly,
It has that magnum opus. I love songs
yeah,
with
me too.
multiple parts that different movements or different sections, and that whole ending section where the voices counterbalance each other and intertwine is so good.
Yeah, that's my favorite section by far. It's I just find it absolutely beautiful.
I'm gonna share it with him.
Okay.
I have it here.
Yeah, I shared it in the other chat.
Oh, thank you.
So while he's
I
listening
put my
to
cat
that,
down to do that. How dare you?
Excuse me.
Do something around here.
So there is a statement that's out there that Tom York, in order to record the yelling parts, actually went out to his shed out behind his house to record those pieces.
Nice.
I like those interesting exploratory and experimental things that they do. I feel for me that the song is in some ways opaque. That's not the word I'm looking for. I feel like it's.
I mean, I kind of get what you're saying. You know,
it's very poetic, and I get that. But so unless I knew what he was trying to get to, I was having a hard time wrapping my brain around what he was trying to say.
Let me give an analogy here that I might have made before on the previous show. My favorite painter is Vincent van Gogh.
Mm-hmm.
Not really a hot take. A lot of people love Van Gogh. I also like Salvador Dali. I'm a big fan of. Oh, okay. No, wait. That's interesting. Your reaction to that. So I'm very curious because this is where I'm going with this. I feel like most basic pop and country and all that stuff, most popular music falls into something that would be, I think, equivalent to like someone who paints a landscape and makes it look photorealistic, and it's very good. And you can say, wow, they're very talented, and I recognize the talent it took to make that. But it doesn't really move me. On the other hand, you have people like the abstract expressionists. You have like, Jackson Pollock and Tanguy and stuff like that, who make things that you don't even know what you're looking at.
Yes.
And it might evoke an emotional response, but I can't really connect with it intellectually. So the sweet spot for me is the impressionists and the surrealists and the people who do things that are recognizable, but it's almost like seeing it in a dream, or it's like distorted, or you're seeing it from another angle you've never seen it before, or through a filter or something else. I love that. And that's what I feel like OK Computer is. I feel like it's right there. Like, it's not crazy. I mean, maybe for me it's because like I've heard the stuff way down the other end where it's like basically noise. I'm like, okay, that's a little too extreme. And then the other, you've got like, Louie Louie or whatever, and like, it's a great song, love Louie Louie, nothing wrong with it. But yeah, this is for me right in the sweet spot of like experimental, interesting, different, something I haven't heard before. And I also feel like they were, with this album in particular, it was like they were speaking a language, but using it in a way that I hadn't heard, but I was able to understand it. And it's like a beautiful thing when you have to run to the dictionary a few times and learn a few new words and be like, okay, that was the experience I had with that album. Did you want to say something? Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I was enjoying the Venn diagram there.
and I would say that
nice talking to you.
Then go.
I'm very much in the same area, and I like Van Gogh. I like Michelangelo. I like Da Vinci, especially like the most extreme post-impressionist stuff that I go with is probably Van Gogh. If it goes beyond Van Gogh with how abstract it gets, then I start getting lost with it. I like the scream. I like because I get what it's trying to tell me, but I am not a Picasso fan.
See, I love Picasso because I recognize the subjects just like Dali, but they're done in a different way. The configuration.
I like Dali, but Picasso is like a step too far, and I feel like this.
That's like the food / pet spectrum. That's where you draw the line, right before the horse. Yeah.
Right. and I feel like this song is probably closer to Picasso in that he's being very poetic.
And some Dali, some Van Gogh, and some Picasso.
Like there's some cubism in there, and it doesn't quite look like you would expect it to look, but you can still pick it out if you know what you're looking for.
Now imagine.
Whereas Dali, you can pick out what he's drawing and what he's painting. You can tell, and then it's just a different interpretation. Picasso, you have to, in some ways, be able to tell what he's going for ahead of time to interpret.
Now imagine your whole life, you have seen the world, and it looks like a Cubist painting, and you stumble upon Picasso, and you say, "Oh my God."
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm not the only one. That is what it felt like for me to hear OK Computer.
Yeah. And I feel like Creep, for example, is much more like a Van Gogh. I'm looking at this world in a very different way, but it's still very realistic. And
you mentioned the Renaissance masters. I would put Creep more like a Michelangelo, Da Vinci.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe the Benz is our Van Gogh where we meet.
Yeah.
But like
in between spot.
Yeah, so it's interesting.
It's not that I don't recognize the talent, because there is definitely an amazing amount of talent there. It's just not for me.
That's fine. I don't think it wants to be for everyone.
No.
I think that if it were for everyone, then when I heard it, I wouldn't have had that strong reaction. You know what I mean? I think I had that strong reaction because it was so specific and because it aligned with my own experience and point of view so much. So I would, and that's the thing, I would rather go for that like tactical nuke of exactly hitting the feelings that you want to evoke in whatever form. But I mean, I can appreciate, I mean, come on, who's going to say Creep is a bad song? It's not. It's a wonderful song. There's a reason it was so popular.
Except for Tom York.
Well, he eventually came around and started playing it again. I saw him in Madison Square Garden with my sister years after my first one, and they played it. It was a huge surprise. I think it was the first show they ever did after the moratorium. So like shocked the crowd. I think there were gasps, but they did it and they weren't sarcastic. They played it very sweetly and purely and sincerely, and it was really beautiful.
Well, and it's great because when he wrote that song, like it wasn't ironic. It was him like truly expressing his emotional reaction to life. And you can hear it in how he's singing it. He has a very expressive voice. And I do like it when he goes high. I just don't like the mixing of, and that's why I actually was like, oh, I'm going to split apart these stems and try to mix him higher and mix them a little bit lower.
Okay.
Do I like it?
To hear your mix.
And I did like it as they mixed it that way. But as I'm gonna have Jeff speak for a minute as I blend this.
I think Jeff's done his homework now.
Yeah. Here's my review of Stephen Page's cover of Paranoid Android. I'm gonna try and put this as eloquently as possible. Holy shit.
In the first line in my notes, I just brought my notepad over to show Betsy, is holy she it is how I wrote it. So yeah.
My God, that is so good.
Yeah, yeah.
The vocals, his vocals in the song, the string arrangement, the section where the first one that the you don't remember my name.
Mm.
He is just some of his best vocals I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And there's also a section where in the rain down, come and rain down on me.
Mm.
He does a tone on that
Mhm.
section that is gorgeous.
That's different than the original, and I really like that.
And
That
it
little,
is, yeah.
little grace note or whatever that he does
yeah.
there is really nice.
Yeah, there's like a little like a suspension grace note kind of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's so good. I miss
I know what a grace note
comparing the
is. I can give
version.
you that.
I like the choral of the original. I mean, the choral definitely sold me on the original one, the backing vocals,
One,
which
two, choral.
he didn't do on this version, but performance wise, I mean, so good.
Pretty stunning.
Amazing.
Yeah. I didn't expect to literally find a new favorite song tonight.
Yes. Awesome.
Like, this song is incredible.
That's so funny. I thought you requested to be on here because you were a fan.
Yeah, that's what I was assuming too.
No,
It just
I
worked out
requested
that
to be on
way.
here because I miss you guys.
That's awesome. Oh, we miss you too. No, this
And I
is
just wanted to talk music, and I
fortuitous.
saw the one song come through, and I was like, "Well, this is." I didn't get it because I was like, "It wasn't Stephen Page or BNL,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "Am I
Because
missing
I got it,
something?"
Tracy. Tracy. Yeah, no.
So I got thrown off. So I was like in panic mode. But no, I clearly need to listen to more Radiohead.
Yes, yeah. I can send you my best of Spotify playlist that I curated.
Yeah, please do. And I've done it. I've done a Radiohead parody for the horror stuff, but it was the Radiohead song everyone.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man, I'd love to hear you tackle some of their more abstract experimental stuff.
I would love to.
Oh, your voice would be right in the sweet spot for doing Tom
true.
York.
Tom York.
Well, you want me to? I don't want to do a full breakdown because we're running long. But really
Right.
quickly, I can talk a little bit about the music.
Do it.
Yeah.
Break it down.
It's my fault we're running long.
No,
Sorry.
no.
Nah.
We were going to regardless because I can't shut up about Radiohead.
It gave me a chance to have Aaron talk a lot about Radiohead.
I am somehow confused that I don't have a Radiohead podcast. I guess I figured someone else was already doing it.
Don't yet.
But yeah, that's true. That's true. Tom,
I would actually love to be part of that because I want
Oh my
to
God.
hear more.
You know,
I
Like,
could. I mean, I
seriously.
do love sharing my love of Radiohead with people. So maybe we'll talk about that. Maybe that'll be the next podcast after we finish this one. But okay. So yeah, Tom.
I dragged you
Johnny,
into BNL.
Phil,
It's only fair.
we know you listen. Come on the show. Anyways, so the crazy thing. I mean, you've heard this song. It's got like multiple sections. Each section is in a different key, which I love. So the verse or the first, the please could you stop the noise? I'm trying to get some rest. That is in G minor, but it uses E minor flat 5 chords, which first of all, E isn't even diatonic to G minor. It should be E flat. And then the flat 5 gives it a mysterious and dark tone with like the tritone. Now I've heard Tom say, and we keep saying Tom. Love Tom, you're a great guy. We're forgetting. We don't want to forget about the rest of the band, and particularly Johnny Greenwood. I mentioned him, but for Creep, for instance, those little like that was his idea to add those and kind of like make it a little muddier and more aggressive. But anyways, the chorus or the B section, "Ambition Makes You Look Pretty Ugly," that section. Now this is a whole step up to A minor, but also in addition to that, it oscillates between 4/4 and 7/8 time. Which makes for a jarring change. It sounds like they're dropping, like, or stuttering half a beat, or like a record skipping or something. And then it comes back in and it goes back to 4/4. And then we get the bridge section, or whatever you want to call it, the choral section, my favorite. It really made me fall in love with that song. We dropped the tempo down significantly, maybe like 20 beats per minute or more. And the bridge has not one key, but 2. So the bridge is in C minor and then D minor. And then when it resets
The
that
saddest
figure,
chord.
sorry, go ahead.
The saddest chord.
Oh, it is D minor,
minor.
the saddest of all keys. Yes, Nigel Tufnell, Christopher Guest. We know you listen, go on the show, please, actually. Yeah. So like, it's got that really lovely like I've talked before about how I love like chromatic lines and like descending bass lines. So you're going like right, but then when you go back, it goes from, because you shifted to D minor, so your brain expects it to go back to D minor, but it goes back to the C minor, so it's this drop down. But it's there's some tricky bit of like resolution happening where it's like a 5/5 or whatever, so it's like there's a resolution that sounds correct to your brain. The crazy thing is, I've heard Tom York or read, I think, in articles talk about, he says he doesn't have like classical musical training or whatever. He understands music theory. I know that, but I think what he's saying is like, he didn't go to school for music. He doesn't think about those things. He just knows chords, which I think is interesting, because if you just know chords and you just play stuff and you play what sounds right, you could do something that also, someone who did go to music school and says, oh, I'm intentionally going to break the rules and do this and that and this. But he's not thinking about that. He's just saying, oh, this sounds good, I want to do that. And writing, what happens to be, in my opinion, a masterpiece of music. So, and then we go back to the chorus, as you mentioned, Tracy, there's like 4 sections in the original. In the original, they go back to that chorus, A minor section again. So 4 different keys, and they're all minor. Borrowed tones, pivot chords, secondary dominants, tritones, descending bass line. How could I not love this song? Possibly. The Art of Time ensemble version is faithful to those wonky key changes and chord progressions, which is excellent. It's actually in the exact same keys. Now, the main difference is Steven sings at an octave lower, which is funny because mostly during this run, we've been saying, oh, he's raised it up, fourth or something like that to go, so he can go take advantage of his sweeping operatic tenor range. So it's, because Tom sings in this kind of very, I think, angelic, I would agree with you.
Yeah.
Betsy, but kind of unearthly, almost alien-like, not always in his falsetto, but yeah, so we have Steven dropping it down to be more like operatic, more like which is really cool. Again, it makes it their own. The other difference, like we mentioned before, is they drop the return to the B section or the chorus or whatnot. We end after the climactic bridge, which I think is fine. I think that's a perfect place to end it, especially if you're ending your set with that, which this is the last song on the live recording album, right? So I think this is a little slower overall.
It went from what I saw online, it went from like 83 beats per minute down to like 68.
Yeah, and I would say when I first I first heard this because Betsy played it for me to surprise me way back in the day.
Surprise!
And I was like, oh my god, is this? And I couldn't believe that. I like literally had like cue the mind blown gif.
TV too,
I think you put it on the on Alexa.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was I think before. But
yeah.
oh my god, loved it. And I remember thinking like, wow, interesting, because like now if I'd known what this album was, it would have probably like surprised me even more, because it's hard for me to think about like how do they substitute this for that or this for that. But there's no drums, there's no overdriven guitars. It's but they really do pull it off, and I think they take advantage of like a little dissonance and a little bit of like kind of like musical like stress to be able to kind of imply that kind of weird alienation. There's one, I'll shut up in just a second, I promise, but there's one reference I wanted to make. So at around, and Tracy, I'm going to paste 2 things in the chat here so you can maybe play them. So this is the Art of Time recording with a timestamp that should bring you to 3 minutes and 36 seconds. And you can hear in that there's this crazy run being done by a woodwind. It sounds like a saxophone to me, but it could be like
I heard like an oboe or something.
It could be like there might be a bass clarinet in there or something.
Bass clarinet.
I was gonna say, so Rob Carley, who's the one that arranged this, is actually the clarinet player and saxophonist.
Okay.
So again, we listened and heard him arrange for "I Want You," the Elvis Costello cover, and there was also clarinet that was highlighted a lot.
Amazing clarinet work in that. Yeah, I remember.
And so I think you're right. It's probably a clarinet.
Probably the same.
He likes to write for himself. Or I think he knows what he's writing better. But yes, let me do. I have to switch windows.
I'm loving the fun facts that this thing gives.
That was Costello. Sold over 30 million records.
30
worldwide.
million records, yeah.
I need to make the screen bigger to share screen that.
Was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah. That sounds like maybe a tenor sax. I'm not sure. But like
well, and you get the violins going in there.
There's a lot going on. I think I hear a Barry as well, or maybe a bass clarinet, like I said. But like that run on that tenor or maybe an alto sax is just sick. And it reminded me of really good jazz. It's like hard bop, it's really out there stuff. But it made me think of Tom York's mentioned that he was inspired by Charles Mingus, who is my favorite jazz composer. So there's no surprise that we got some
stars are lining.
And Miles Davis for this album.
Yeah, Miles Davis also. Yeah, but he mentioned Charles Mingus, and you can hear that influence in some of their music. If you listen to the national anthem, Kid A, I'll send another link here. Right around.
I did listen to that this week as well.
Awesome. Right around the 4 minutes, 8 seconds mark, you can hear this really crazy kind of sax doing similar kind of runs on this song. And this is another one of my favorite Radiohead songs, actually.
Alto.
Are there vocals over the top?
No, that's instrumental at that point. But they do have vocals in that song, just not in that section. But yeah, they had some crazy instrumentation going there at the end of that song. But yeah, it just made me smile to hear that, and I wonder if it was an intentional musical reference, because it certainly seems like Steven is also a Radiohead fan, and that wouldn't surprise me. So if
You've done more than that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm very curious to hear more. Urge to know more intensifies.
What else is he covered?
Now I need to hear that song, because that one snippet you played was awesome.
Oh my god, that's a great song. Yeah, the national anthem. Dude, they have so many. They're like my best of playlist is like basically all of their albums and maybe 1 or 2 songs removed, because there's so much good stuff.
feel like there's a huge void on my music.
Oh my god, I'm so happy, dude. I'm so happy that I can introduce you to Radiohead proper. Yeah.
Betsy, what else is he covered by Radiohead?
I have to find it. Discuss amongst yourselves.
Okay. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, what more is there to say? I mean, this is one of my favorite songs of all time. Stephen Page in particular, the Bare Naked Ladies in general, but Stephen Page in particular has become another of my very favorite bands. So like to hear Stephen cover this song was just absolutely fantastic. And I mean, what did you guys think? So let me ask you both while Betsy's looking up her stuff. What do you think, Tracy and Jeff, about like how they were able to kind of form that alien soundscape with just the kind of the more orchestral instruments they had? I think they did a really good job. There was a lot of like kind of like, I don't want to say disturbing, but like very tense moments, and there was that darkness you could kind of feel. What did you guys think?
No, I think that describes it really, really well. The alienation, but especially the disturbing, it really, not in a bad way, but it makes you rankle a little bit as you're listening to it. But I do enjoy Radiohead's version of it when it comes to the electronic, the guitars and the drums and how they're in the bass and how that's all kind of coming together, especially at the very end of the song. But I really, really, there's something about the Art of Time's version with the instruments, the classical instruments, that really works for me even more so. That I don't know if it's just this is my personality, and I really like orchestral music when it's done, with to cause disruption. But like, for example, one of my other favorite bands to listen to is Ben Folds 5, and it's that classical piano and the double bass and drums. It's very simple, but the fact that it is so discordant, but it's making you feel these major emotions, and he doesn't even need the words to do that. He plays the piano in a very punk way that makes you go, wow, this guy's angry in a way that you would never hear with classical music, but with classical instruments. And that's what I get the feeling of with this. Like I'm getting a different feeling from music with this group playing the music than I would with any other. Like, I love hearing an orchestra do that and do something completely different. And I love what they did with this. And I have to absolutely say, like, it's no surprise. I love Steven's voice, and I love what he does with the range on this song. What about you, Jeff?
So my life was changed tonight. I feel like I'm not giving it its due diligence because I wish I would have had more time to simmer with both versions. Because this song deserves it. It's a very complex roller coaster of a song. Like Aaron mentioned, the parts, the key changes, the instrumentation. My initial reaction to both is I love both versions. I think the Radiohead version gets the song a little better. It feels more ethereal. It gets that sense of that alien loneliness. It gets that the choral section at the end. The Radiohead version just hit like a sledgehammer, and how good it was, vocal interchanging and all the parts. And I love Tom's falsetto. I think that works for the song. That said, I agree with Tracy too. In the Stephen Page version, the string arrangements, there's these cool blast moments where like you're in one section and then it goes frantic strings, which I love. The classical strings just start hitting the woodwinds throughout the whole thing. I do like that Steven dropped the octave so he could kind of go full voice and just power through it. One section where that worked for me, like I said, that you don't remember, why don't you remember my name? I like that he's full voice in that section. I think that sounds so good. So of the quick listens I did tonight, this could change. I'm definitely gonna be listening more. I do like the way the Radiohead version captures that feeling. My understanding, my limited Radiohead understanding change is that OK Computer is a very different album for them. The more electronic kind of sound, experimental sound. I agree with Aaron. It's a masterpiece of a song. It's a very bohemian kind of song. And I'm really curious to listen to more OK Computer after this. So I think they got the vibe that they were going for in the song, but Steven's version is incredible.
Yeah, agreed for sure.
And I feel like Tom York was. I feel like he was not able to because of the way it's mixed. I know that it was mixed the way he wanted it to be mixed, and they love this guy that mixed it because they keep using him for the rest of their albums thereafter. But I feel like it does it. I feel like personally that it does a disservice to what he is able to do. I want to highlight like some of the vocals that are being blended in, that are being, I hate to say hidden by the music, because I get that that's what they're trying to do, but I really do like his vocals. So I'm going to kind of share some of the stuff that's kind of blended down much more into the mix, that I really love. Like, it's really like his vocals really are
gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Yeah.
It's like chamber music.
Yeah.
And
it's got a very
large
feel.
I just wish it had been blended a little bit more. So I did.
I'm just wondering did you listen to this purely on a car stereo or something? Because I feel like the mix is amazing.
I gotta disagree with
there.
That. Yeah.
Nigel Godrich, I believe, was their audio engineer. I think he's done an amazing job.
No, I listened to it directly through my hearing aids.
Hey, that's a They Might Be Giants song. We could be.
I think it's called They Might Be
Even in
Elderly.
the Radiohead episode, I mentioned They Might Be Giants.
I took out my denture so I could get better resonance.
I was listening to a They Might Be Giant playlist at work the other day, and all of a sudden my 20-some-year-old coworker said, "Are you watching Malcolm in the Middle?"
Life is unfair.
One of my favorite bands of all time did the theme.
No, it was piped directly into my hearing aids from my iPod while I was walking, and I did have, so I wasn't being inundated with car noise from cars driving by. I had put in some earplugs. But yeah, it was just
you put the earplugs in and then you're hearing it. That doesn't make sense.
It really made for this muted sound. I don't know why. But yeah, it just didn't. His voice was blended further down into the mix. I did try to do it a little differently. Let's see how I did with this.
Okay, so you have to understand, this is like, for me, somebody going up to the Mona Lisa and being, I can make that a little bit.
I hear it. Yeah,
I have to. I mean, I know. First of all, you're working with like the AI stems and stuff, so there's going to be a little mud in there. And also, I have no idea how compressed it is going through all that. I'm losing a lot of the other stuff. I'm losing the. There are strings. They're like synth strings. I think it's a mellotron, which is awesome.
Yes, it's listed as a mellotron.
There's like a lot of layering. I'm missing that tapestry when I hear that, but again, that could be like the compression through the meeting or whatnot.
AI
it didn't
splitting
sound like
things.
that when I just played the other version, the YouTube version on my headphones. It didn't quite sound like that. I don't know. The mixing to me sounded really solid.
Yeah, I think it's a masterpiece, obviously.
There's a lot of like distance and space in the mix, and it does give me that feeling of that isolationist feel, that spacey feel. I don't know, when that choral part hit in the first time.
God, yeah.
I gotta listen to it more.
Life.
I gotta give it more time. But when that first hit just now, I don't know, it worked. It worked.
Yeah,
well.
I got goosebumps probably the first 100 times I listened to that song.
Yeah. And that's honestly one thing I missed from the Stephen Page version is that.
Yeah. I think they did a great job, like covering the different vocal parts with like the strings and stuff, and like making that. But I just missed the intertwining counterpoint between the different vocal parts and stuff. Yeah, right. Yeah. All right. Well, should we
Let's
put a bow on this?
consume.
Here's the question: how many networking yuppies do we rate this song?
Not Gucci bags.
I'm gonna be sad that you have my role.
Or how many of God's children that he killed?
Oh wow!
A little too extreme, I think. Yeah, let's stick it with the networking yuppies. Can I go last? Because I'm just curious. I want to be the big reveal here.
Sure. I'm gonna give Jeff
Are we
a
rating?
little.
Are we rating the radio?
It's 1 to 10 this time.
0 to 10.
Wait, what?
0 to 10. Yeah, 0 to 10.
0 to
Uh,
10.
Double A for the lie.
Because I'm an ass.
It provides more granularity without us having to go to like, I give it pi out of 5.
Right, exactly. We're not going down to the other decimal points.
I've been trying to be real good about putting it on the quarters, man. I try.
I was gonna say, if you know what's funny in looking at that and changing the rating system, I was like, okay, it's gonna let us get a little bit more into the minutia of differences.
9.74.
And what has actually happened is that we have not gone unless we've done a quarter, we have not gone into the 100th place.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it probably does remove the need for the feel for the need for that. But anyway,
Yeah.
it's 0 to 10.
Well, then I'd like to
0 to
actually
10.
change my rating to off the hook for 11.
Ooh, it goes all the way to 11.
Can I do that? Is that? I
Don't
can't change
mess
off
up
the
my
hook?
It is in C
system.
minor for part of the song. So. That's for the Spinal Tap podcast. They go to 11.
Spinal Tap. We know you listen.
Oh my
Come on the
god!
show.
Please come on the show.
I'm gonna have Betsy go first to give Jeff a little bit more time to let it sit
Okay.
and fester and mull.
I'll be over here festering a little bit.
I'm not sure how I
You
feel.
have some
about
kind of
that.
antibiotic cream or something?
I feel like I'm made party to the festering. Well, since you put it that way, if you hear bubbles in the background, that's just
It's
Jeff.
just Uncle
That's
Fester.
just Uncle Fester.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I think for Steven's version, I would probably give it a 7.8 because I think it suffers a little from being live and not being as produced as the original song. So there's an element there. And I love Steven's voice on it, but it just, I've always ever known it as Tom's song as Radiohead. So as much as I like Steven's version, I'm always going to compare it to the original. So I think you're drinking your haterade.
Oh, wow. Are you preparing us for what's to come, Tracy?
So 7.8.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Make the cutoff for your best of playlist. Okay, interesting.
so I'm guessing that the original would be in the.
It's dragged in parts.
I don't disagree with what you said.
I'm guessing that the original would definitely be on your playlist, though.
Oh, definitely, it is on the playlist. In fact,
Yeah.
a bunch of other ones too.
I think that Aaron wanted to go last, so I will go with the haterade right now. I'm gonna guess that I'm gonna be the haterade.
Coming in hot with the haterade.
No, it's actually nice and cold.
Oh, good.
It's a cool haterade.
Mhm. It actually is a cool
refreshing.
haterade because I really like Steven's version. I love his vocals on this. I love the instrumentation. Aaron, I know you like. I may be uninvited to the house
You don't have
for a
to
while.
No.
Because I like Steven's version better.
That's fine, man. That's fine.
But I really do. I do like it. Is it on my playlist? No, but it's up there. I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
Okay. I mean, that's for a haterade. That's pretty mild. Very mild. That's why Nights and Ice Cold. It kind of cuts down on the bitterness of the haterade.
Yeah.
So
What about you,
There's some
Jeff?
good electrolytes in that haterade.
Yeah. 7.5 networking yuppies. Okay.
Yeah.
I cut one of the yuppies in half. I didn't like him. I think Tom York would approve.
You went straight King Solomon on that
Some
guy.
pigskin lying on the floor.
Yeah. Crackling pigskin. Wow.
How about you, Jeff? How many network yuppies are you giving this?
Can I rate them both?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If I would have listened to the Page version first, it probably would have been higher. But I listened to Radiohead first. So I would give the Stephen Page version. I really enjoyed it. I loved it. I thought his vocals were some of the best I've heard from him. I love the arrangement, the string arrangement, the instrumentation. But having compared them, I missed the ending. I really missed the ending. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna give the Page version a 7.7. I'm gonna make Aaron stay and give the Radiohead version a 10.
Yay!
That song is a masterpiece.
Oh, so beautiful. So glad that you like it, man. That's so cool.
Yeah, I love it. I'm gonna be tomorrow morning on my drive to work. I'm gonna be firing up some more Radiohead because clearly I've been lacking.
Yeah. Okay, Computer, Kid A, In Rainbows, Hail to the Thief. Probably my top four in that
just
order.
the Kid A section you played from that song, I love.
I think you'll like Kid A a lot, actually. Yeah.
I definitely need to listen to more.
Yeah, Kid A is an album that when it first came out, it's so funny because now compared to some of their later stuff, it's very, very poppy. But like, because they've gotten more and more progressively weird and experimental, which I love. But like when it first came out, it almost threw me because like it was not very many guitars. You know, OK Computer had started that shift away, but Kid A is much more electronic and experimental. But I love that album. That's one of my favorites now.
I'm actually disappointed right now. I thought I had a pretty wide music.
Oh man, Jeff, have you ever heard Mr. Bungle?
No, I haven't.
Okay. We gotta do like a weird deep cuts podcast.
So yeah, I need to listen to more because I loved what I've heard.
Awesome.
But also listen to Jonathan Colton and Steam Power Giraffe.
Yes, agree on both of those.
I know
Joko, yeah.
Well, then Steam Power Giraffe.
Yeah, Steam Power Giraffe's pretty awesome too.
Well, Aaron, we haven't gotten a rating from you.
Okay, so this is so tough, because part of me would love to give this a perfect 10, right? But I have to compare it to the original. And I think Tom's weird, almost alien-sounding falsetto, the bite of Johnny's guitars, the crashing of the drums, those almost heavenly choral vocals in the bridge. There's so much that I think this cover gets right, and they make it their own, which I really always appreciate. But as much as I love this, I have to say I prefer the original. Not a surprise, I'm sure. No. Now, that's kind of giving it a raw deal because, like Jeff, might I have rated this higher if I weren't comparing it to the original? Almost assuredly, yes. Right. So perhaps we could put an asterisk next to my score, considering I would give the original an 11 out of 10, S tier, goated with the sauce rating. But it's funny because I was probably thinking along the lines of like 7.5, 7.8. And I was thinking about it. I was like, well, I probably want to put this on my playlist. You know what I mean? I do think like if I'm going to do a best of playlist, how can I not have this song on there? And it's not undeserving. And then I was like, how can I justify this though? Because I'm like thinking high sevens. And I thought, this is a live recording. That's super impressive. That's true. The audio quality for the live performance is really good. And I just imagine myself going to see this show without knowing anything, right? Mm-hmm. And then hearing Stephen Page with the Art of Time Ensemble launch into Pregnant Android to end the set would have made my night. It made my month probably. So like that would have thrilled me so much to just do that. And I kind of thought back to the first time Betsy played it for me, and I was so excited. So like, yeah, you know what? There's that cool factor of hearing my very favorite song being performed by another of one of my very favorite musicians. So I'm going to give it 8.2 networking yuppies out of 10, and it will go on my playlist.
you sliced off the head and just included.
Yeah.
He just convinced me.
Ah.
I actually want to change my. I didn't think of it being a live recording,
Yeah, just
and
like,
for
yeah.
that
Very
to
impressive.
be a live recording,
impressive.
For him to pull that off as a live recording, I have to raise my score. I'm going to go up to an 8. if I can,
Nice.
please.
Nice.
Yeah.
Change it. Yeah, for him to pull off what he did live, that's
And Jeff, I'm gonna try not to I'm gonna try not to ruin this song for you. But I am gonna have
the trouble
to.
with Tracy is
Oh, I think this is a trouble for anyone who has ever seen it. I'm gonna have to recommend that you go out and watch the video that goes with this song.
the Stephen Page version.
No, the original.
The
music,
cartoon, the weird cartoon. Yeah.
MTV.
No, I watched
video.
it. That's what I watched tonight.
Yeah.
I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, I like
I
it.
thought it was like it's,
I remember sitting in
I'm
my
not
school
sugarcoating
cafeteria.
when I say that I did not expect
What
to
sweet
find
hell
a new
did I-
favorite song to me.
Yeah. I remember
Like-
sitting in my high school cafeteria because we would switch it over from channel 10 on our TV, and we'd go and switch it to MTV every morning.
Nice.
And I remember it popping up and me going, what sweet hell is that? What is going on?
And I was like, what is this heaven that I've stumbled upon? So
But
yeah.
if you had the video playing with my headphones on when I was listening to it, those were actual reactions.
Yeah, I did see you.
Like-
I did see you make a couple of interesting faces.
Yeah, for
It's
both
a very
versions,
surprising
honestly,
song.
but
It's a thing. It has a lot of twists and turns, and like, it's,
Yes.
it's just
The
it's
video
roller-
is
it's
a
roller
whole
coaster of a
other
song. Like,
level.
You never know where it's gonna go, and I love that. Yeah.
The angel coming in with the helicopter. And then he's
It's
chopping
been a long
down
time
the.
since I've seen that video. I
What?
gotta watch it again. I remember him up on
Up on the street lamp, and he's trying to chop
You've
the
listened
street
to the
lamp,
songs I write, right?
and then he slices off his arms
I like
and legs.
weird.
Yeah, we're fans of weird here, Tracy.
I mean, yes, I just remember going, "What?"
It is quite weird. All right. Well, hey.
Well,
Jeff,
next
so
week
glad
we
you could
don't
make it, dude.
have a song.
Yeah, this was fun. I had a blast tonight, and my horizons were open, so I'm excited.
Yeah, let me know what you think. I'll send you a playlist and let me know what you think, man.
Yeah, please do.
And
I
Jeff,
might have
I would
something
recommend
coming your
listening
way,
to
by the
this
way.
whole album because it's very different.
Oh, I want to.
You know their covers of like so many different songs are so different with that orchestral background. And next week we get to discuss like our album review of this.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to listen to it, and I'd like to try and talk about it. So I miss talking music with y'all. So.
Yeah, same.
Oh, we love having you on. Anytime you ever want to join us, you come on. But I do want to
standing
also throw
invitation.
out like the reason Jeff is not around is he's extremely prolific with his career, and you know a lot of releases over the last year with the
Too many.
the horror parodies. And you say too many. I enjoy them. And you know, Aaron has edited quite a few of those, produced quite a few of those, and it's amazing. You guys are great together, and so I recommend people
Yeah, we
going
gotta
out.
collab.
Yeah. I actually got to do some of I performed at a horror con last weekend, and I didn't know Voltaire was going to be there, or Leo Voltaire, one of my favorite musicians, and I got to do some Aaron mix songs, which was so much fun.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, and I do have a song I just wrote, so I'm probably going to be reaching out.
Aaron's wearing a shirt that says "Endure."
Endure and survive.
Aaron's about to get a weird one.
Okay, I'm very curious.
No, I love it when your songs drop, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be interesting. What's he gonna do? So I recommend everyone go out and listen to all your stuff.
I don't think anyone will expect the next one.
Okay. Consider me curious.
Well, thank you very much, all of you, for joining me tonight.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. It always
Yeah.
is.
Thank you. Yeah, it was fun.
And it'll be fun
Yeah,
editing that down.
Yeah, good luck. Oh my god.
Have a great night,
Bye.
and next week we'll
Just
see the whole
not the
album.
parts where Jeff didn't know what he was doing.
Have a good night. We'll see you next time.
Hey,
Have a
guys.
good night.
Goodbye.